want to walk up with it.
Get ready!
Get ready, get set, school is live.
Ask questions, learn more, build.
I wanna you want to walk up with it.
Get ready!
Get ready, get set, school is live.
Ask questions, learn more, build your life. Hey.
Connect now, show up your future's bright.
Skill up, stand out, this is your time.
Skill up, skill up.
We are learning, live again.
Skill up, bring your question.
Let's begin,
Let's begin,
let's begin.
ask, learn, grow, build your questions. Let's begin, ask, learn, with your questions. Let's begin, ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin,
Let's begin.
ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin,
Let's begin.
get ready, get set, school is live.
Ask questions, learn more, build your life. Oh,
Connect now, show up your future's bright.
skill up, stand out, this is your time.
Skill up,
Skill up,
skill up,
skill up.
skill up, skill up. Bring your question.
Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn,
Skill up, skill up, skill up, skill up. Bring your questions. Let's begin. Ask, learn, grow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's school session. Who is excited to be here, please? If I'm excited to be here today, can you drop I am in the chat? Let me see your I am in the chat if you're excited to join today's school session for the graphic design module for the gateway program. Drop I am in the chat. I'm waiting to see everyone's I am in the chat. If you're excited, just type I am. I am excited, but just type I am in the chat if you are here to join us today on today's school session for the Gateway program. And I say special welcome to all the participants from across all the 10 states that we have this course hosting. I want to welcome all the participants in the graphic design track for the Gateway program. We are really, really excited to have you here. Let me see your I am in the chat, everyone. Let me see your I am in the chat. If you're excited to be here, let me see your I am. I'm checking for everyone's I am in the chat, please. If you're excited to be here, please drop your I am in the chat. And welcome to everyone. Welcome and welcome to our first school session for the Gateway program for the graphic design track. So before we begin, can we all head into the chat and tell us in the chat box also, tell us your state and tell us when you started the graphic design course. For example, I'm Taiwo, I'm currently in Lagos State, but then I'm not a learner. So I will say, Taiwo, I started in May, I started in April, I started in March. So please just drop also in the chat where you are from. Maybe Sokoto State. I started in March. Kano State. I started in April. Lagos State. I started in May. Just tell us your state and where when you started. So let's see where everyone is coming from. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming, everyone. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Your state. Thank you. Lawrence Nampa, I can see that you type your I am. Thank you. So let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming, everyone. Your state and when you started the module. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Thank you, Zena Matoyosi. Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep it coming. I can see your chat also. Hope Apples. I can see your chat. Mirabel. Let's keep it coming. Okay, from River State. Thank you, Esther Julius. Please, can you tell us when you started the module? From Delta State, I started in May. Thank you, Hope. Thank you, Hope. Thank you. Thank you.
Across Nigeria, young people are discovering something powerful.
They feel it's just side gig, like side hustle. But gig for someone like me is real life work.
Their skills can travel the world. And through the Gateway program, women, persons with disabilities, and displaced youths are gaining access to new opportunities in the global digital economy.
People are getting access to jobs that they may not otherwise get had they been looking only at the local economy.
Participants can specialize in tracks like graphic design, digital marketing, UI UX design, and video production and editing. The Growth Pathway enables skilled creatives to strengthen their portfolios and access global gig work. The Foundations Pathway supports beginners, build core technical skills, and secure their first gig. Visit gateway.cchub.africa. It's free.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's really exciting to have you here. I can see that a number of us are actively sharing where exactly it is that we're tuning in from. Faith from Abuja, Hosseini from Lagos has started in April, Abdul Wahabu who's from Abuja. It's really exciting to have you here. Thank you so much. All right, then. So I think that this is everyone. So far. Thank you once again for joining. If you are a part of the Gateway program, I believe that it's because you are looking to upskill, you're looking to grow your abilities, you're looking to enter into the gig market, you're looking to build a skill that is useful and relevant in the labor market. And it's very exciting to have you here. Especially if you're in here with regard to the design program as well. A key part of what this program is set in place for is to ensure that you are giving the skills that allow you to stand out, not just as an individual, but in your career as well. The program that you've been giving access to, it's an exceptional program that has helped many people, myself included. start off their careers and then go on to do really exceptional work. And I really hope that as individuals, we're able to utilize this opportunity for the best outcomes long term. So it's really exciting to have you here. Hi, Nika from Delta State. Hi, Inguvese from Lagos. Hi, Ruby from Lagos. Hi, Owa from Zaria. Very, very exciting to have you here. You're welcome as well. Um, so yes, with regard to what we're here to get started with today as well. Here today we're going to be taking your questions. So should you have any questions, you want to confirm anything, you want to understand, um, whether how the course should run, if you have any questions or you've gotten to any point where you feel like you've run into issues, that's majorly what we're here for. We're open and available to help you sort through any of those things, any part of the LMS as well that you might be having issues with. Uh, that's a large part of why today's session is here, so that we can walk you through any of those issues. Please don't feel shy. Feel free to ask any questions that you may have, so that we can give you a detailed response during the course of this session. And that's why we're here today. So I think that before we get started, um, yes, so I think before we get started, let's walk through a recap real quickly. 1 minute, please. All right. So, but before we get started, I want to walk us through a quick icebreaker, just something really, really brief to just get us loose and into it. So, a large part of our design program requires you to understand brands, how they visually present, the work that they do, but larger than that, how do these brands show up in the real world? And I would love to walk you through just a quick icebreaker. I'm going to share a couple of emojis, and your job is to guess what brand it is that we are trying to communicate. So we're talking about from the big brands that you see every day, that you use on a day to day. These are the brands that we are looking at. So while I'm sharing that, if you have any guesses, you can just leave them in the comment section as we go along. So this is just to get us into the space, get me acquainted with you as we go along before we break into the more serious parts of things. All right, so quick one. Here's an image. It's a brand that many of us are very familiar with, many of us use on a day to day. If you have any idea what it is, you can leave your guesses in the comment section before we head over to the next guess and request. Apple, exciting. Yes, yes, exactly. Apple. Apple, the Apple brand that many of us are familiar with and use on a day to day. The next brand is, someone said a Mac. Well, close, close, close enough. Close enough. I mean, they're in similar categories as well. So we have a next brand. What is this? I don't want to give away any hints, but I think that if you're not spending time working on your LMS and you just want to relax, this is a place you probably spend a lot of your time. Close, close, close. Close. So the answer for this is Netflix. The answer for this is Netflix. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. We'll get into more of this as we go along. But it's really exciting. Netflix, yes. It's really exciting to have you here. And I look forward to interacting with you during the rest of the course of this session. All right, then. So I'll be handing off to my colleague Ifeinwa. She'll be walking us through a recap of the Geniza design program. Hi, Ifeinwa.
Hi, Jessimil. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ifeinwa. I am the community lead and mentor for this program. And I've been interacting with some of you on the LMS, and I just want to give like a short recap of some of your questions and see what you'll be expecting in the course. So I'll just get right into it. Um, The first question I'll be looking at is from Joy Eze. She was asking, okay, what is graphic design all about? So simply, graphic design is communication. It's communicating using visuals. That's like the simplest definition of what graphic design is all about. It has to do with problem solving, communicating ideas and information in the simplest way possible, to make it visually appealing and to also, attract people and make them to want to see what you're communicating basically. So another question I saw was from Oluebubechukwu Eze. She asked, what should I focus on right now as a beginner to improve faster? That's a very good question because as beginners, you tend to be confused. Okay, where should I focus on? Some people are already thinking, oh, what aspect of graphic design should I do? But I would advise that as beginners, you should just focus on the basics. If you have a good foundation in graphic design, you'll be able to, veer into more technical fields as you go on. So example of the basics you should focus on typography, focus on design thinking, learn how to think and see as a designer. And ways to do that include improving your taste in design. And how can you improve your taste in design? You can do that by um, inspiring yourself, following designers that you admire in the industry, looking at their work. There are platforms like Behance, Pinterest, Visual Journal that you can take a look at, soak yourself in those designs, and as you progress, you begin to see that your taste improves. You begin to see that your taste improves in design. You also need to focus on color, typography, hierarchy. These are the things that are covered in, I think, module 2 of the course, and that module should be something you take your time with it and make sure that you understand everything that is taught in that module, and you will be fine. Another question I'll be looking at is from Peace Osagede. She asks, what can I do to make my work more professional? So you should focus on keeping your designs clean, not doing too much. At this early stage, what you should be looking at is making sure that you have a good understanding of your fonts, your colors, and your elements. And make sure that you use good fonts. You don't use too many fonts. Stick to one or two. Make sure they are readable. Pay attention to consistency. Pay attention to your alignment. You will understand the meaning of these words as you go through the course. For some of you that are already ahead in the course, you get what I mean. Use quality images, use good colors. Ask yourself, what is the message I'm trying to pass in this design? Ask yourself, oh, what am I trying to communicate? What do I want people to see when they see this design? That's the first question you should ask. Also, what do I want people to see first? That's where hierarchy comes in. What you want people to see first has to be the biggest, the boldest, the most attention grabbing on whatever you're designing. And also, what action should they take? Okay, after looking at this, what should they do? If it's an event flyer, oh, do I want them to click the link? Do I want them to, buy a ticket? Whatever you want people to act on, you should also make sure to highlight that. Yes. So as a professional, as a beginner, what you should focus on is your thinking. Think, pay attention to what you want to communicate, and everything would fall in place. Um, Another question I would look at is from Grace Ihoma. So she asked that she has been trying to upload her Module 3 assignment, and it was done in a 3 artboard format. And she's trying to say, okay, how can I submit my assignment since I can only input one link? So if anybody is going through this, what you should do is upload. If you have multiple files you're uploading, upload it to one folder in any drive you're using, and then get the link to that particular drive, and that is what you will be submitting. So I want to tell you that this course that you're currently taking is very packed. It's very packed with, like, you're very lucky to have this opportunity. It's very packed, and by the end of this course, you would have learned a lot. Here in this course, you're learning how to use Photoshop, you're learning how to use Illustrator, you're learning how to use Affinity, InDesign, Canva, Jitter. Every aspect of graphic designer, we're going to touch on it, and you're going to understand simple animations, how to design posters, how to design editorial design. I mean, by the end of this course, you would have gotten a lot of knowledge. So that's that's it. So we're going to move over to our question and answer session. We'll want you to drop your questions in the chat. If you have any roadblocks, anything that you want to ask, that's related to graphic design, you're confused, you need help with something, please drop your questions and we can attend to it right now. I'll be waiting for your questions. Please be specific with your questions. Okay, I can see some chats, some messages are dropping. Okay, someone is saying they don't have access to their account. I can't log in my account. Okay, those are technical questions, and our hosts will sort that out. They would answer your question. Is there any other app I can use instead of Adobe Photoshop, because I'm finding it difficult to download it? There are other apps you can use aside that, but for the purpose of this course and for the purpose of your learning, it is advised that you get Photoshop, because the reason why Photoshop is being used here is for you to learn how to actually use it. It's an industry standard tool that, as a graphic designer, you should be able to use. So I would advise that you do all you can to get it. You're finding it difficult to download it. There are options. You could go to a computer store and ask them to get it installed for you. That's an option if you're having difficulty installing it yourself. Yes, but I would advise that you get it. Yes, Affinity now can do what Photoshop can do to an extent, but for the purpose of the course and what you'll be learning, get Photoshop so that you can learn how to use it. Yes, Photoshop is only for laptop users. You can use Photoshop on your phone. And this course you should have access to a laptop to be able to um, actually learn properly. Some of us have not started. Wow. Okay, I would advise that you start. It's a very interesting course, and as you go, you would see that you would want to open and learn something every day. I would advise that you start. Yes, Photoshop is only for laptop users. I said that. You can't use Photoshop on your phone, unfortunately. The whole course actually, like I said, is recommended that you get a laptop. Yeah. Okay, so someone asks, I'm stuck in Module 3, Lesson 2, creating a sports design 1. I do not know how to remove background. You tried the method, but it's not working. Is there any other method? There are other methods of removing backgrounds, but what was taught in the course, like the other example that I gave, is for you to actually have an idea of it. There are other ways you could use AI tools. There are AI tools that remove background. You have remove.bg. You have I think Icons 8 has a background remover as well. Yes. So you could go online, type remove.bg or Icons 8 background removal, and you can use an AI tool to remove the background if you're having difficulty with it. Okay, so I'll be handing over briefly to Jasimil. So please take over.
All right then. Hi everyone. A large part of I just want to walk us through something that I think is fairly important, and I know that it was something that was part of one of the modules as well, and that's color theory. In fact, interestingly, one of our icebreakers for today was going to touch on that. A key part of issues that designers sometimes have when you are just getting into design is how to combine colors. What colors should you use for what? How do the colors work? What do colors mean? How do they reflect on one another, and etc. And that's something I want to walk us through today. So I'll just share my screen really quick so that we can touch on something um, fairly fairly basic. All right. Um, so let's get started with this. This is a color palette for a really popular brand. This is the color palette for Google. Now, a large part of how color systems, color theory works is that colors serve a very specific purpose. Now, what does that mean? When brands are trying to evoke particular responses with the audiences who view it, they use color theory. And I think it's something that's touched on in the modules as well. In particular societies or cultures, particular colors mean particular things. When people are getting married and having weddings, white is a popular theme. In color psychology as well, when companies are trying to evoke, they're trying to evoke hunger, yellow and red are commonly used. And one valid example of that, and it's within this document actually, is McDonald's. So this is the color palette for McDonald's. McDonald's is a fast food restaurant. And what they do is, or what they've done here is they focused on using color psychology with colors that we popularly know by color psychology evoke the emotions for hunger. But more than that, these colors complement one another, as you can now see in the McDonald's logo. So, how do you pick colors that complement one another? How do you pick colors that don't sharply contrast against one another? And I'm going to show you real quick. So one of the tools that's recommended in the module is called Coolers. And I'm just going to share that right now so that you can see what the Cooler site looks like. So this is Coolers. It's often used for color contrasts, for building palettes, and etc. And this is a great way to get started in understanding how to use color theory, or even tools to help you with color theory. So let's get into a couple of them. The most popular of this is a palette generator. So what Coolers does is it helps you set out a palette that you can use for your work. When you head over here, if you want to change the palette sets, you can just hit spacebar and it will generate a new palette. If you've seen a color that you feel like you want to keep and you want colors that are similar to it to be generated, you just head over here to the color you want and click on lock, and it locks it. So what that means is when you hit spacebar to change the colors, that particular color does not change. And so it looks for other colors that could complement it without being a sharp contrast. Now, a key thing to understand is that there are particular colors that you cannot contrast against one another for multiple reasons, contrast being one of them. Poor contrast. What is poor contrast? And I think a valid example would be let me pick a very neon color on here. So let's pick a color like this green. And then we pick a color like, this is even close. Okay, pick a color like this. Now, if you were to put a text of this color on top of a text of this color, it would not be easy to read. And then you have two problems. You have a contrast problem and you have an accessibility problem. And accessibility is something we'll get into later on as well. So a large part of picking colors, requires you to ensure readability. You need to ensure that the colors contrast each other. Have you ever been to a wedding where people picked when people have weddings in Nigeria, pick colors, and the two colors that have been picked are so averse to each other that when you get to the wedding, it feels like the decorations look terrible. And a large part of that is because of poor color theory. This tool is called Coolers, COOLORS. It's also a part of your documentation in Module 2. You should see it in the list of resources that you can access and reuse. It's not a design tool. It's a tool that helps you to generate color palettes, helps you to pretty much understand how colors work, and etc. So another interesting thing you can do with Coolers is that if you have an image that you like the colors used in it, you can use Coolers to draw out a palette from that image. And so you head over here to Image Picker. And notice how there's an image here and Palette has picked out the important colors in this image. And now if you want to export that to use for yourself later on, you can just click Export Palette here, and you can export it as an image that you can reuse later on, name it as something, and keep it. So that way, say if you've been let's say you've gone for dinner with a friend, you've taken a photo of what the dinner looks like, and you now want to use colors similar to what you've gotten from that dinner. You just head over here on Colors, head to Tools, click on Image Picker. It'll take you right here, and you can just upload the image on Browse Image. Upload the image. Let me see, what's an image I've used of recent? Okay. And it will pick out the colors within that image. You can now explore that palette and use the colors within that palette. The palette usually is a combination of colors. You can use the colors within that palette for your work or for your design. So that's how you can do that. Now, another key part of things also is something I spoke about before, contrast. Now, accessibility. What's accessibility? Accessibility is usually a key part of design for two reasons. Accessibility often means that your work is functional and people can interact with it. What does that mean in simple terms? If you get to a building and somehow the door to the building is painted the exact same color as the rest of the building, and you can't tell what the door is, you will struggle with finding your way into the building. And as such, that building is not accessible. We do the same thing with design. So when you're picking colors, you have to pick colors that make information easy to digest, easy to understand. But past that, you also have to pick colors that serve all types of people. And what does that mean? Some people have better eyesight than other people. Some people are able to use devices better than other people. And so when you're working with colors and you're working with design, you need to be able to cater to everyone in your audience. And that's where accessibility comes in. Now, imagine you've picked a set of colors in a design, and while all of us here can see it, you send a photo of it to your grandma, but she can't understand what's in the design because the accessibility didn't consider people without great eyesight. That's an accessibility problem. So what contrast does is that it helps you find a good enough, what accessibility does, it helps you find a good enough contrast between one color that is laid against another color so that it is easy to understand and digest. And so when you're trying to test for that, you can use Coolers color contrast checker. Now, what does that mean? I have two projects I want to work on, or I have a design I want to make, and I want the text to be one color, I want the background to be another color. How do I check that it's functional, that when other people see it, they will be able to read it? You can use the contrast checker. So let's pick a random text color. Let's pick this bright green. And then let's pick a really pale color, say pale pink. Notice how the imaging here is almost unreadable. And when you look at this, this is the contrast score. It lets you know how good or how bad the contrast is. The contrast score is 1.02, which is pretty low. See here how it says very poor, very, very poor. You see also when you have this first, so this section where it says small text and large text, is showing you the readability of small text and large text against these colors. And it says when you got 1 star, it means that it's really poor. Now let's change the text color to a darker color, like this green. Now notice how while it's still poor, it's just a little bit better than what it was before. But you look at large text, it shows that large texts are more visible because naturally, say you have a billboard, the large text on the billboard is more visible than the smaller text on the billboard. Um, and that's just exactly, it's unreadable. Thank you. It's unreadable and you can't see it clearly. So, but the larger text is, if you have a billboard, the larger text is easier to read than the smaller text. And so it makes it easier even when the colors don't work. But at the same time, this is still a poor color ratio. Now let's look for colors that contrast each other strongly. Let's go for a dark indigo against this pink. See how high the score is? It's 13.6. And the stars here say super, it's all 5 stars. And it means that it's readable both as small text and as large text. This color combination has passed the contrast test. This is what this tool does. And what this means is that if you take this design back to go and use it in your work, it will be easily readable, it will be easily understandable, it will be easily viewable. That's contrast. That's contrast, that's accessibility, give or take. So let's try mix up another set of colors. You guys can recommend in the comment section what colors do you want us to mix up, and we can give that a shot really quickly. Or you can make a guess. What 2 colors do you think would pass the contrast test? All right, so while we're pending that, let's just give it another shot so that you know that it's not just these 2 colors. Let's go with bright red. But notice how the contrast is poor again. So for the background color, it needs to be a darker color for stronger contrast. And so we use black. But notice how it's still just good because this color is a very bright color. So we go with another color. We go with a bright orange. And notice how it's very good, which means it can go ahead and it will be viewable. Light blue and royal green and yellow. Okay, let's try green and yellow really quickly. I have my doubts, but let's see. Green and yellow. Ooh, I do not think that green and yellow would pass the contrast test. But it can, and here's how. The shades are also important. If the shade of green is a really dark green, yes, it passes the contrast test. So, can this color tester be gotten on color palettes in Corel Draw? So the color tester itself is a separate site, but when you use the colors that you've worked on in Corel Draw, you can bring it back here. You can pick the color, what's it called, the hex codes, and come and test it here in the contrast test. Yellow and white. Okay, yellow and white. Let's see. As the background or as the cover? White as the text with yellow as the background. Let's switch places and see. Same thing. They're both too close in color to give a good contrast. Brown and black. All right. Brown and black. Notice how brown and white go well. Brown and black, unless it's a bright shade of brown. And even this bright shade, I don't think it's brown anymore. It's like caramel-ish, or orange, in fact. So brown and black, not really. Amber and peach. Yellow and black, yes. Yellow and black would go. And that's a great recommendation, actually. Yellow and black, yes. Amber and peach. Those are very complex colors. Oh. All right. Let me see if I can catch peach here. No, it's probably be on the other side, close to the orange. All right. Amber. So based on this shade, no, I don't think that they would go well together. All right, yellow and blue. Okay, 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 okay. Once again, I have my doubts, but it also depends on the shade of blue. So this didn't pass the test, but if we go for a darker shade of blue, yes. In fact, a darker shade of blue and a lighter shade of yellow would suffice, should suffice. Um, it says this is good, but it could be better. There we go. So, guys, I think that with the color tester site, it's in your modules, but it's called coolers.com. I don't know that I'm able to leave a comment for you here, but or coolers or co rather. Um, but it's in your modules. You should see it in your modules with the list of resources. So, what other tools can you access? So another really cool thing that um, Kulos does is that they have an AI-powered chatbot. Okay, it's paid though. It's paid, but usually you can ask the questions about colors you want to work on, and it would give you feedback about how well that it works. Sometimes also, if you don't have a color palette yet and you're not sure how to create one, it also has a section where you can explore palettes that have already been created and then pick one and decide to go with it for your projects. Look at this. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. This looks like it would work for like a clothing brand or a wine brand. Just like a really cool, quirky, and modern company. But yeah, I think that we've covered colors so far and color theory. I'm really excited to have gotten to share this with you all. Gray and yellow, yellow and black. You can test that out on your own now because you have the resource now, so you can test it out on your end and see how it works. So thank you, everyone. This is it on color theories. If you want to follow up more on it, you can look through the models. There's information on there, and I'll just be handing off to my colleague Ifenwa again.
Hello, everyone. Hello once again. So, I see that there is a recurring question about Photoshop. Some people are saying that they tried the 7-day trial, and after that they're asking, oh, is it going to be free after 7 days? Some people are saying, oh, they can't get access to Photoshop. So I'm seeing a lot of questions about that. So I would like to address that. So first of all, Photoshop is a very, very paid tool. It's not free. Yeah, it's a paid tool, and you get access by subscribing, but they've made it in a way that there's a discount to if you want to get it. Also, there's a 7-day free trial. So let's say I was the one taking this course and I can't afford to pay for the tool. I would subscribe to the 7-day trial and make good use of that 7 days. So from the modules, I think we use Photoshop a lot in module 2. So in that 7 days, I will try as much as possible to complete my assessment, my practical tasks with Photoshop, right? And at least get a hang of it, see how it works, learn how, learn the shortcuts, learn everything you should learn with Photoshop. And then when the trial ends, before the trial ends, sorry, you can now, make sure that you disconnect before it ends. If not, they're going to charge you for it. Now, there is an alternative that you could use after Photoshop ends, but I would categorically say that make sure that you, at least, even if you don't have access to Photoshop, you can download it. Get that 7-day free trial so that you can see what Photoshop looks like and use it for a while so that you get a hang of it. At least you should get the basic idea of what Photoshop looks like. Then after the trial ends, and because I see in module 5 or so, module 5 or module 6, we still use Photoshop for other tasks. So a tool that is similar to Photoshop is an online tool. It's called Photopea. I'm going to share my screen and show you what it looks like. You could use Photopea Um, it's very similar to um, very Photoshop. You could use it and do make complete your order tax. Yeah, because aside Photoshop, you're using other tools as well, so that you don't hit a roadblock and stop doing your tax just because of that. So this is 4P. You it looks very Photoshop. You whatever Photoshop does, you could here, and it's an online tool, p.com, and you could make use of it for your practice. But if you can get access to Photoshop, I would still say that you should do that. There's a 7-day free trial. There's a discount. Those that can afford it, please go ahead to get it. Computer to a computer store, and you as well. So this is what Photoshop, and know what Photoshop looks like. You can see that it's similar to what Photoshop looks like. Open an artboard and see what it looks like. So you can actually do stuff here. You can actually design like you would in Photoshop. Yeah. So questions I saw about Photoshop. Let me see. I saw another question. Someone was saying if they will still have access to the no, you wouldn't. If you don't subscribe to it after that 7 days, you won't have access anymore. And if I don't have access to a laptop, can I use Photoshop? You could say, okay, maybe every go I would take 2 hours, 2 hours every day. I'll go to a computer shop near me and use their desktop or laptops for go through a particular module, do my tasks and go. That's a way to go about it if you do not have a. Okay. Canva versus. Okay, I don't subscribe to competing who has their strengths. Canva is a tool that is more phone. But for using your laptop, so Canva is good for those that want to don't have access to laptops. Canva is good for them. Also, Canva can do basic animations. You could use Canva to design templates as well. And in this course, you are going to also explore Canva a bit. So it's not a competition between Canva and Photoshop. As a designer, you should know how to use every design tool to an extent. That's what I would say. So I'll hand over to just email to continue.
All right then. Thank you, Ifeanyi. Thank you very much. Okay. So a couple of responses. So Canva versus Photoshop. I mean, both of them actually do really great work. I think that Photoshop gives you a little more control over the work that you want to do, while Canva is it leans more towards like templates and associated things. But you can always also still do like really great work with Canva, if we're being honest. Um, so I think that's a solid response to that. There's a great question here. Someone said, please type out the name for the color tester site, coolers.co. It's in your modules actually. I don't know that I can leave a response in here, but it is in your modules. So even if you don't get it on here, just check your color theory module. There's a document in there and it's included. Um, there's a really great question here. Yes, thank you for that. So there's a really great question here that says, since RGB and CMYK colors differ a bit, if a client needs a digital flyer of a palette and would like the exact design in a printed form, let's say banner, what would be a better approach to this? This is a very technical question, a fairly technical question. Okay, so RGB and CMYK are two different color profiles. RGB is often used for digital. So if you design something and you know that it's going out on a digital platform, say they're posting on social media or they're sending it as a digital report, RGB is always your best bet. For printing, however, CMYK is the profile required for that. So if a client needs a digital flyer and wants the exact design in a printed form, what often works best is, so there are two outcomes to it. One, some designers, or most designers actually create two versions: an RGB version of the file they can post online, and a CMYK version they can use for print. Because you need CMYK for print, otherwise the colors will not come out properly. Um, on the other hand, I know that Adobe Illustrator has some provisions for you to be able to use both RGB and CMYK colors on a single file, but it can get a little complicated. So I would always recommend that if you are not very versed with it, you can create two different files, one for RGB, one for CMYK, and let them have the CMYK version for print. So yeah. Rachel Pete says, I don't have a laptop. How do I get the Adobe Creative Cloud? You need a laptop if you're going to get access to Creative Cloud and Photoshop and etc. That's where you're going to be able to practice and execute. Also, like if anyone said, there are also places, like cyber cafes and etc. Where you can actively use their devices to practice Photoshop. IVE test says, why was my Photoshop software different from the one the educator was using? So there are a lot of reasons for that. But just to clarify, did you mean when if anyone was just teaching now, or the instructor on the module? If it's instructor on the module, one key thing to also note is that every year Adobe releases a new version of Photoshop, and sometimes the interface can differ. However, it's still the same thing. It's still the same set of tools. It's the same outcomes. So you should be able to achieve the same things. Okay, let me see if I can show you something really quick. I would have to share my screen though, so you can get a very specific outcome for something you want to work on. So let me share my screen just a minute, please. Okay, so this is what my version of Photoshop looks like. It may not look the same as yours, but what happens is Photoshop allows you to be able to rework your interface so it looks similar to what they call the legacy version. So the version that people have used consistently in the past. So to do that, you just head over here to Window. Click on Workspace, and you can click on Essentials. So what it does is, instead of, this is a different view, there are multiple views to the workspace. So instead of it presenting a version of it with things that you don't understand yet, when you click on Essentials over here, it gives you the most simple version, the version of Photoshop that most people use. So the colors may be different. In fact, as it is right now, if you want to change your Photoshop interface to white, you can change it to white. But the core thing is that what you can do with your Photoshop is the same as what the tutor can do with their own as well. I hope that answers that question. Okay. What software is best for logo design? It's a nuanced question because you can use multiple tools for logo design. In my experience, when I started out in design, what's worked best for me has been Adobe Illustrator. However, I have used Adobe Photoshop and gotten the same, sometimes better outcomes. You can also use Figma, you can use Canva sparingly, but most times your best bet is Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, perhaps Figma as well. I don't think we've gotten into that yet. But that's something else that you can use that would be useful and beneficial to being able to design logos. Um, I think that's that question answered. Um, in case you have any other questions or in case you have a follow-up question, so that you can leave that in the comment section as well, so that I can help respond to that. Okay, I think um, I've covered a substantial number of these as well. Let me actually stop sharing my screen. Okay, so but that's the walkthrough for it pretty much. Most of the time, once again, like Finwa said, if you are confused about what your design should look like, a great place to go is Pinterest. Go to Pinterest, search up designs from similar designers, go to Behance. I think there's a link to that in your modules as well. Go to Dribble. That's also a great place to get resources from other people who have done really great design. And I look forward to seeing the exciting work that you will be doing. So I think I'll be passing on to the training coordinator now, so that we can actually close out on our end.
Thank you very much, Jismail. Thank you very much, Ifeyiwa. That was an amazing session. Thank you so much. Please, can we all go to the chat box and put our favorite emoji to show how we feel after this session? If you are feeling motivated, you are feeling inspired to go back to your graphic design course and continue, can you please go to the chat box and drop your favorite emoji to show how you are feeling after this session? Please drop your favorite emoji. Let me see how you feel after this amazing session. Let's show ourselves. Let's show how we are feeling after this session. Please, I'm watching for your favorite emoji. Let me see how you are feeling. Thank you so much, Jesimiel, for that insight. Thank you so much, Ifenyua, for sharing so much insight with us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I can see your emoji. Please, others, let's drop our favorite emoji. If you are motivated, if you are inspired to say, let me go back and continue where I stop, please stop your favorite emoji. And while we are on that, please, the attendance link will be, thank you, Matilda, thank you, Ruth, thank you, Mr. Sisi, thank you, Luwatoyin. So while we are doing that, the attendance sheet will be dropped on the link on our chat box. Please, let's check it and let's fill our attendance sheet. It's very important. So the attendance sheet is already on my screen. Please click on that, click on the link and fill your attendance. It's very important. Thank you, Grace. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so for the next session that I'm going to be taking now, we are going to be showing the amazing works of everyone on the graphic design course who have done an amazing portfolio. So in the next few minutes, I'll be sharing the works of amazing people on this platform who have done amazing work. So permit me to share my screen, please, and let me show you some of the amazing work that's been done by the people on the program. Okay, so this work, okay, a minute, please. A minute, please. I want to share the portfolio of some of the participants who have done so very well. Okay, yes. So we have the first one. A minute, please. Going to get the right screen to share. Okay. So we have the first one that is for Vivian. So Vivian did this. Can we see? So Vivian Adagbabiri. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name well, but Vivian Adagbabiri did this amazing work. So this is our first portfolio submission. Look at Vivian's work. Is it not beautiful? Please, Vivian, if you are on the call, that is nice. Please, let's give Vivian our flowers. So this is Vivian's work. Can we see that? So this is our first submission. This is the first page of the work. Now, this is the second page of Vivian's work. Please, let's give Vivian her flowers. Let's give her. So this is the second assignment that Vivian did. Now, this is the second, and this is the last page of Vivian's work? How many of us are really amazed, are really impressed with Vivian's work? If you are, please, let's give Vivian her flowers, please. Let's give Vivian her flowers. If you are really amazed with Vivian's work, let's give her her flowers. Okay, so let me show the second person's work that's also done very well. And that work is going to be by Glory. So permit me to share my screen and show another work that has been done by someone on the call. Okay, so this is Grace. This work is by Grace Euma. I think I saw Grace Euma on the call. She dropped a comment, she dropped an energizer, an emoji a few minutes ago. So thank you, Grace. Your work is amazing. So this is Grace's work. This is the first page of our work that she has done so far, the portfolio. So jump past limits. So everyone that is still waiting for one or two things, Grace is saying to you, jump past limits. Success is not about a single moment, it's about thousands of moments of effort that come before it. Train harder, move faster, go further. So this is the first portfolio for Grace Euma. Can you see this is beautiful? Just do it. Thank you, Grace, for your effort. One more mile. Thank you, Grace. This is amazing. And the third page of Grace portfolio for our first assignment is play hard. Is this not beautiful? So thank you, Grace. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Grace. So the third work I'm going to show is by Bam Glory. This is beautiful. This is Bam Glory portfolio. Is this not really wonderful? So let's give Bam Glory a flowers. I'm not seeing you giving these people a flowers, please. Let's give Bam Glory a flowers. Let's give her flowers. This is really amazing. This is from Bam Glory. Let's give her flowers, please. And the last one I'm going to show is from Linda Okafor. Linda Okafor did this. Linda Okafor did this. So thank you, Linda Okafor. So let's give Linda Okafor her flowers too. So these are the four people. A lot of people submitted their portfolio submission anyway, but for this particular session, we just highlighted just four people that their works actually look outstanding. So thank you so much, Vivian. Thank you, Bam Glory. Thank you, Grace Elma. Thank you, Linda Okafor. And for everyone that is on the graphic design module that is yet to start, please start. You can see people are already doing amazing work already on the module. So thank you for those people. So let's give them their flowers, please. Let's give them their flowers. So while we have done the portfolio, I'm going to be reading out the names of about 6 people that their quizzes have been impressive. Like they've had very high score in their quizzes. So in the next few minutes, I'll be reading out the name of 6 people. As I read out their name, if you're on the call, just show you're on the call. And then if you're not on the call, please let's appreciate those people who have been performing very well on the module. So now I'll be calling their name forward. The top 6 people that have performed very well. Mary Isaac, you are one of the top scorers in the quizzes. Thank you very much, Mary Isaac. Vivian, also, you are coming again here. Thank you, Vivian Adagbabiri. You're also one of the top scorers. On the quizzes. Ayomikun Okonowa, you're also among the top scorers on the quizzes. Thank you, Ayomikun Okonowa. Then Taiwo Tugobo, you are also among the top scorers. Taiwo, for the quizzes. Thank you, Taiwo. We also have Cecilia Adoji. Cecilia Adoji have been performing very well too on the quizzes. Thank you, Cecilia Adoji. And lastly, Victoria Okunlola. Thank you so much, Victoria Okunlola. You've also been performing very well on the quizzes. Thank you so much. So our attendance sheet is still on. Please fill your attendance. Don't forget, fill your attendance. That is very important also. Okay, so we have a few more items to go, and that is to answer one of the questions I've noticed that have been recurrent on the LMS. And I think one of the questions has been people who have been saying that they're not able to log into your account. I want to believe that everyone can log into their account. But if you're having issues logging to your account, please send an email right away to training@gateway.ccup.com. Someone will attend to you. There have been no issues at all with logging in, and you can see that a lot of people have made progress. So if you're having issues with logging into your platform, please send an email with your issue to training@gateway.ccup.africa, and someone will be at the back end that will attend to you as soon as possible. So please, some people also some people also, okay, someone said you can't fill in the attendance. No, the link is in the chat box. Please check the link on the chat. Maybe you just joined, but the link will be dropped for you. Just check the link and click on the link that you can fill the attendance, fill your name, and some other details also. The second issue regarding the LMS are those who are saying they don't have devices. Please, in the next few days, we are going to be rolling out some information about accessing hubs. There is provision for hubs for those who may not have laptops. So in the next few days, watch out on your email and watch out in your communities also. We're going to be dropping information about accessing the training hubs. So the training hubs will be available for people that are not able to access. So you don't have to struggle to complete the modules. The next few days, information regarding that will be in your email. Then you can go to our training hubs, access any of the laptops or any of the computers, and be able to do your work without any problem. That is very important. Okay, so I think those are the questions that have been recurrent about the LMS. I think one other question I also want to respond to shortly are people that, okay, I've addressed the learner problem. That will be addressed. The next is also going to be the submission. Please, there is no deadline for the submission of your portfolio. However, this is a 3 month program. Again, the graphic design course is a 3 month program. I think we have spent some people joined in March. If you joined in March, by June, your access will expire. If you join in April, it's 3 months. July ending, your access will expire. If you join in May, July ending, your access will expire. So please track your 3 months. There's no deadline for the assignment for the portfolio submission, but the earlier the better for you. That is very important, everyone. So I think I've addressed all the questions that needs addressing. A minute, please.
I've been stuck on the sidelines watching life. Same routine, just getting by. Skills on top, kicks passing by. Too much grind, not enough pay. I know there's more and I won't pretend. This is the way the change begins. No more waiting, no more doubt. Right now's the time, I'm breaking out. No distractions, no excuses now. I'm locked in, I made a vow. From learning hands to earning plans. I rise, I build, I understand. The gate is open, I'm walking in. Through the gateway I begin.
Okay, so I was saying that if you're having any issues, please send an email to training@gateway.ccup.africa. I saw a lot of people saying that, oh, I'm not able to access my call. Nobody should be on this call and be stranded. We have made enough provisions for you. So maybe the gateway can drop the gateway training email so that everyone that is having an issue can send an email. Nobody should be outside of the program. Nobody should be stranded. Everyone should be actively learning. So for any inquiries, just drop your email to training@gateway.ccup.africa. So thank you, everyone. Congratulations to all the amazing people who are really progressing. And to everyone, this is a motivation for you. You can just start now and you can give your best to it. So thank you, everyone. So final thoughts, any question before we round off the session, please? Is there anyone that have questions, clarifications, or any issues? Please, the attendance sheet, a lot of people have not submitted. Please ensure that you are able to submit. Okay, so the training email is on the screen. It's on the chat box. I mean, training@Africa. Please drop your inquiries, drop any issues you are facing, and someone will be there to attend to you. So thank you everyone for joining this session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So our next session is going to be next month. I look forward to all the amazing things and all the wonderful things that all of you are going to do. And we have more participants. We have more people submitting their portfolio and more people engaging on the LMS. Thank you, everyone. See you next month for the next session of school session. Thank you. Bye.
I've been stuck on the sidelines watching life. Same routine, just getting by. Skills on top, kicks passing by. Too much grind, not enough pay. I know there's more and I won't pretend. This is where the change begins. No more waiting, no more doubt. Right now's the time, I'm breaking out. No distractions, no excuses now. I'm locked in, I made a vow. From learning hands to earning plans. I rise, I build, I understand. The gate is open, I'm walking in. Through the gateway I begin. From learning to earning, I'm on my way. Turning my skills into gigs every day. We rise together, we won't break. Every move is mine to make. The gate is open, I'm stepping through. A better life in everything I do. New skills, new mind, new frame. I'm not the same, I've changed the game. From ideas to real results, turning my skills into paying gigs. I see the vision crystal clear. Opportunity is here. What I build is what I own. I plant the seed, I fully grow. No more doubt, I know my worth. I'm creating value on this earth. Step by step, I claim my space. Rome is now my daily base. The gate is open, I'm walking in. Oh, through the gateway I begin. From learning to earning on my way. Turning my skills into gigs every day. We rise together, we will break. Every move is mine to make. The gate is open, I'm stepping through. A dignified life, I'm coming through. Oh, oh, oh. This is my moment, this is my call. I stand up strong, I won't fall. Through the gate